I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy.
Hey everyone, Frosty Knives here. And it occurred to me that I haven't done a DVD and Blu Ray update in a little while. So I figured I would go ahead and show you guys some of the new acquisitions that we've come into. There's quite a bit here. And a lot of this isn't stuff that I bought, stuff that we bought. A lot of these movies and sets are things that we inherited. A lot of these movies and sets have come from my wife's father, who is no longer with us. So a lot of this is sort of sentimental, in addition to being some really good stuff, some really good TV and some really good movies. So I just wanted to go and show you what the new additions were to the DVD and Blu-rays. I'll do the Blu-rays first because I only have 4. So here's the 4 Blu-rays that I bought recently. I did pick up in light of the new movie coming out on May 17th. Cheap plug, go see it. It's going to be good. Picked up the Star Trek reboot, 2009 reboot on Blu-ray. Right now, Best Buy has all of the Blu-ray Star Trek movies on sale for $9.99. Another cheap plug if you want some Star Trek Blu-ray. They're also having a sale on their Star Trek TV show box sets on Blu-ray. Those are on sale too. So this is an excellent movie. Christopher Pine, Zachary Quinto. This is a really good reboot. I know the last couple of Star Trek movies that they did were meh, but this one is really worth your time. So we got that. Told you guys in previous video I'd get it. I got it 28 days later. I showed you that I had picked up 28 weeks later. But here is the 28 days later on Blu-ray. We just watched it. Actually, my daughter and I just watched it. She's 10. She comes to me and she says, "Daddy, I want to watch a movie." I say, "Dear, what movie do you want to watch?" She says, "I want to watch 28 Days Later." I raised her right. So her and I sat down and we watched this. And she liked it. She also liked Dawn of the Dead. So I must be doing something right. Okay, the next movie I got on Blu-ray was the first Terminator. So that gives me Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 Judgment Day on Blu-ray. The only 2 Terminators, in my opinion, worth owning on Blu-ray or any format. I didn't like Rise of the Machines, and I don't think I saw 4. There's 4, right? Here's Terminator. Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. If you've seen both of those, you've seen most of it. Don't watch the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That wasn't very good. And the Rise of the Machines I didn't really like. It was strange. And then the last one I don't think I ever saw. So, and the last thing I purchased on Blu-ray, I've never seen this movie. Probably going to get slack for saying that, but I didn't. Never seen it. I bought this. It was at FYE for like, I don't know, $7. Something like that. So this is Al Pacino and Scarface on Blu-ray. Never saw it. I know. I'm an idiot. So I now own it. This is the limited edition. And this comes with 2 movies. This comes with, well, actually the tin opens. And it actually comes with these cool little like postcard-like things that you could like mail away. That's what it comes with. But it comes with 2 movies. I wasn't aware that this was a remake. But it comes with Scarface, the movie, that, you know, the one that, the Pacino movie. And then it comes with, this is like the 1939 version of Scarface. I didn't know that Scarface was a remake. But apparently it is. And so it comes with the Pacino version. And they threw in the original version for you to watch. And from what I gathered on Wikipedia, the original version is quite a bit different than this. So this comes in a nice little tin, you know, whatnot, and so I'm gonna go ahead and watch this movie because I haven't seen this movie, and I haven't seen The Godfathers. I know, right? I'm half Italian. I should know this stuff. Like, this should be like your Bible. So that's my Blu-rays. Now we get on to the DVDs, and I'm going to show you the boxed ones first because there's a few of them. Here we go. So this is 2-pack DVD combo of The Red Skelton Show. This is very old. If you've never seen this, this is like the original sketch comedy. This was pretty good. As you can see the dates on them. I don't know. Can you see the dates on them? 1951. So this was on TV from 1951 to 1971. And this is Red Skelton, and he did a lot of characters and personas and whatnot. It was a comedy sketch show. It was pretty good. I've seen a bit of them over the years. His famous one, he did Clem Cadiddlehopper. Can you see that? Let's see if I show you that right there. There he is. Clem Cadiddlehopper. That's his first one. I think it's this guy. I think that's who it is. But so yeah, he did a lot of. He was like a one-man SNL type thing. So that's always fun to watch. And then going on to the next comedy bit, Benny Hill. This was comedy gold, and when this came out, this was pretty racy. When this came out, this came out in like the early. I think this was the early '80s. Let me look. I'm gonna open it up, and we're gonna see what we got here. There's Benny Hill. I think it says this back. The box says it comes with, it was in 1983 and up to 1984, 85. So, but this was Benny Hill was fairly racy when it came out on television. Sort of pushed the boundaries of things. See, body hilarity. So this was, Benny Hill is funny. If you haven't seen stuff and you like this kind of humor, pick it up, or at least YouTube it. I'm sure you can YouTube it and find out what it's all about. So then we got Season 1 and Season 2 of Alf. This is now on like Nick at Night or the Hub. This is the Hub. Is Nick at Night even on anymore? This is now on the Hub, I believe. So my daughter watches this and she thinks it's the funniest shit she's ever seen. I don't really know why. She keeps telling me all the time that there's one episode where Alf tries to hypnotize the cat into thinking the cat is a bagel. You know, Alf loved to eat cats. So I didn't really watch Alf when it was on TV originally. Alf is okay. You know, it's nostalgic now. That's why I watch it. I don't watch it because I think it's really, really good. I watch it because it's nostalgic. Alien Life Form. That's what Alf stood for. His real name was Gordon Shumway. Yeah. So that's Alf. I'm just going to shut my phone off. Okay, next one we got. Some of you may remember this and some of you may not. I remember it. First season of WKRP in Cincinnati. And this was a show about a DJ, about a radio station. And, you know, a lot of people from the 80s, a lot of the actors from the 80s that did TV sitcoms were in this. So this was kind of neat. You know, I used to watch it when I was a kid briefly. I don't remember a lot of it. Maybe it's a good time to catch up. But, you know, it's good to catch up. It's again, that nostalgic thing, right? Like Alf. But this show, I would get the rest of the DVDs on this one because this was one of my personal favorites, right up there with Perfect Strangers, Night Court. This is the first season of Night Court, and I loved this show. John Larroquette, he was Harry Anderson. Richard Mall, where is he? Right there, as Bull Shannon. This was good. This was a good show. And you know, a lot of people guest starred on this. Because, you know, they'd have, in addition to the sitcom stuff going on, they would actually have these weird cases. And, you know, Mel Torme would be on it. But I remember, here's something. I remember watching this, and future Star Trek Hall of Famer, Mr. Brent Spiner, was on an episode of Star Trek as he was sort of a hillbilly with his wife, and his wife and him owned a hot dog stand, and it kept getting blown over in the wind. The umbrella kept going over, and Harry kept having to cite this guy for selling hot dogs without a license or something like that. But Brent Spiner, that's where I think I remember seeing him for the first time, and then later on he went and did Star Trek. But that's where the first time that I've seen him, and I don't know if it's on the first season or not. I doubt I got that lucky that it's on this. It might be in the later seasons, but I would definitely pick the rest of those up because I loved that show. Here's a newer one. Everybody Loves Raymond. You can get this on Netflix now, so, you know, it's nothing I would have went out and bought, but here it is. Everybody Loves Raymond, and it's a good show. You know, you can definitely watch it all on the Netflix. So, but this is the second season. I don't know if he had any other seasons, but this is the only season that we have right now. And then another oldie but goodie. Some of you may remember these, and some of you may not remember these, but this is season 1 of Hogan's Heroes. And then we've got season 2 of Hogan's Heroes. Season 5 of Hogan's Heroes, and season 6 of Hogan's Heroes. My father-in-law liked to watch these because these were sort of like war shows, war comedies. This is right up there with MASH as far as he was concerned. So MASH and Hogan's Heroes were the shows that were probably, you know, how I watch Star Trek over and over and memorize every single line and just keep watching it. I could watch the same episode over and over and over again. I think that's how he was with MASH and Hogan's Heroes. So, I don't think I've ever seen Hogan's Heroes. I definitely have seen a lot of MASH, and I probably have seen some of these. This is the one with Colonel Klink, right? Or is that MASH? I always get them confused. I can never remember. I think that was MASH. So, you know, maybe it's a good thing to kind of watch maybe someday when I sort of catch up on it and I kind of get everything settled down. So now we're on to the movies, and we've got a bunch of movies here. So let's just start with some, and these also came from that collection. And some of these I've seen, some of these I've never heard of. So here we've got Robin Williams in Man of the Year. Never saw it. Maybe I'll watch it. It's got Louis Black in it. I think that's Louis Black. It's got Christopher Walken. Yeah, that's Louis Black. It's got Christopher Walken, Jeff Goldblum, Louis Black, Robin Williams, comedian who runs for president. I mean, isn't that all of them, right? So, you know, it's a comedy. Maybe I'll watch that one day. It's not something I ever would have read out to see. So then we have a movie I don't think I've ever heard of, but it's about a motorcycle gang. Here it is. Wild Hogs, Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and William Macy. It's a funny comedy about 4 weekend warrior friends who decide to rev up their ho-hum suburban lives with a cross-country motorcycle adventure. So, you know, that might be something I can take a gander at some point. The Bucket List. We got The Bucket List. Jackie Boy, and Morgan Freeman. There's funny thing about Morgan Freeman. I just heard about this on the radio. Somewhere, I think it's Australia, but somewhere there is a guy, I think it's Australia, we'll have to look it up, who's into, I believe it's like radio, or he's on the news, or he's doing some type of public speaking. And apparently he sounds exactly like Morgan Freeman. And apparently he pays Morgan Freeman money to sound like Morgan Freeman. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine getting paid money for some dude that sounds just like you, because we know that Morgan Freeman has that distinctive, very distinctive sound. So, this is something that I put on my bucket list to watch. The bucket list. Here was another one of my father-in-law's favorite movies, Because of the Car. I think this may be the only Stephen King movie he watched, but it was Because of the Car. So here's Christine, John Carpenter's Christine, with the Plymouth Fury, right? Hell hath no fury, like a car that has a mind of its own. So, I mean, this is an excellent movie. I've seen it a billion times. I would highly recommend watching it. I do like it. It's one of the better Stephen King adaptations. It's done by John Carpenter, so it's, when it says Carpenter's best since Halloween, they're probably right. But this is a really good movie, and I've seen it over and over. Might be good to see that in Blu-ray, just see what it looks like. And so then we got I did watch this movie, Hollywood Nights. This is Tony Danza, Michelle Pfeiffer, Fran Drescher, the nanny. This is another one of those American Graffiti, which we'll get to, American Graffiti type movies, old 50s sort of rock and roll antics, 50s type movie about a drive-in or a diner, things like that. I did watch it. I'd watch it again. I don't really remember it a lot. So, let's see here. This came with it. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This is the 4th Indiana Jones movie. I fell asleep on this movie. I don't know how it ended, but I did. I fell asleep on this movie. I didn't like it. You know why? A part of the reason why I didn't like it? Shitty LaBeouf was in it. Yeah, I call him Shitty LaBeouf. Okay? Because I don't like him. But Shitty LaBeouf was in it. And he was in the Transformers movies. That was a good chunk of the reason why the Transformers movies weren't that good. So, I think he plays Indiana Jones's son. Was that the deal? I don't remember. I fell asleep on this movie. I just remember there was an explosion. There was a nuclear explosion or some type of an explosion. Harrison Ford hid in a refrigerator, and the explosion flung him across the desert, and then he crawled out of the refrigerator. He just looked really old in this movie, and it was him and Shitty LaBeouf. So I'll watch it again maybe, and I'll actually stay awake for it this time. And then a good 2-pack movie. There is a Blu-ray combo 2-pack of this movie that I want to pick up of these movies. But you've got Labyrinth, which is awesome. David Bowie. You remind me of The Babe with the Power. This was an awesome movie. This was an awesome soundtrack. This was produced by George Lucas, done with Jim Henson Muppets. This was just really good. It's a classic. And like I say, you can get this movie and this movie, boom, The Dark Crystal. You can get both of those on Blu-ray as a special edition Blu-ray combo pack release. It's worth picking up. I saw this in the theaters. I love this movie. This is all puppet work. And this is awesome. I just love The Dark Crystal. I love the story, the Skeksis and the Mystics and all that. Again, Gary Kurtz, right? So we'll get to all of that, but this is another Frank Oz, Jim Henson type deal. So if you've never seen The Dark Crystal, I hear they're making a sequel. Yeah, I'll be there for that. It's probably going to be CGI, though. It's not going to be these cool little puppets, Jim Henson puppets. It's probably going to be CG, but I definitely would watch both of those. I do want to get both of those on Blu-ray. My daughter wanted to see this. I bought it for her for $4 at Best Buy, and I watched it with her, and it was actually... I don't mind musicals. And here's Hairspray. the best part of this movie was John Travolta in a dress, right? Because he plays the mother. So, who is married to Christopher Walken. So the best part is Christopher Walken dancing with John Travolta in a dress doing a musical number. It was great. It was comedy gold. But this has got a great cast. I mean, this has got James Marsden, Christopher Walken, John Travolta, Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's got a great soundtrack, and it's got a great story. If you listen to the story of this, there's a lot to it, and it really is a story set in the 60s, and it talks about segregation and racial issues and things like that, but it does it in sort of a lighthearted, humorous way that, makes you realize what it actually is. But this is a good movie, and I would watch it. If you don't like musicals, I would watch it anyway, because it's well worth sitting through watching it. And the funny thing is that my daughter, let me see if I can zoom in. So that's what's her name? Turnblad, right? So that's right here. That's John Travolta in a dress. On the Broadway version of this, it's John Panette who plays the mom in a dress. But so that's John Travolta in a dress and a fat suit. And I told my daughter about that because she she had started watching it at a friend's house and then wanted to buy the movie. So I told her that was a man in a dress, and she said, I didn't know that was a man in a dress. I said, what did you think it was? She says, I just thought it was a really ugly fat woman. So kudos to the makeup team. Kudos to John Travolta pulling off a fat, ugly woman in a dress. So there you go. And then the last three that we got, this is an HBO 7-part miniseries. Looks like it's never been opened, but it looks like it's just about the story of John Adams. That might be worth a watch at some point. This is winner of a record-breaking 13 Emmy Awards. 3-disc, 7-part miniseries about John Adams. I like historical stuff from time to time. So it's got Paul Giamatti in it, and Laura Linney is in it. It was directed by Tom Hooper. For a minute there, I thought I said Toby Hooper. I'm like, what, the dude from Poltergeist? So it's the story, I'm assuming, the life and times of John Adams. A historical story. And the last two, this is a great movie if you've never seen it. Mel Brooks, History of the World Part 1. This is an awesome movie. If you've never seen it, you should watch it. You know why? Because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. That's why. So, most of Mel Brooks' movies are comedy gold. So, definitely, I would watch this. There's some funny shit in it. I've seen it. Roman Empire stuff, Ten Commandments stuff, Spanish Inquisition, which I think is a musical number, French Revolution. So yeah, go ahead and pick that one up. And then finally, the collector's edition of American Graffiti. A lot of people forget that this is a George Lucas movie. George Lucas is famous for three things: Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and American Graffiti. And I think a lot of people forget about this movie. So a couple of things about American Graffiti. This is what spawned Happy Days. Remember Happy Days? Ronnie Howard and the Fonz and everything. This is what spawned it. This Happy Days was basically this in television format. You can see there's Mel's Drive-In right there. And Ron Howard is in this movie. So that's where Happy Days came from. And a lot of the people that George Lucas used for Star Wars were in this movie. Harrison Ford was in this movie. Gary Kurtz. We talked about Gary Kurtz on, was it Labyrinth or Dark Crystal? Dark Crystal. Gary Kurtz was the producer of this. Produced this. co-produced American Graffiti. And who did George Lucas tag to go help produce Star Wars? Gary Kurtz. So this is a movie that was also produced by Francis Ford Coppola, and it has got huge names in it. Richard Dreyfuss, Ronnie Howard from Happy Days, Suzanne Summers, Wolfman Jack, Cindy Williams, who went on to do Laverne and Shirley. So this is a 50s send-up kind of thing, and that's what American Graffiti is all about. And if you've never seen this movie, shame on you. You should watch it. It's a good movie. And it's one of George Lucas's earliest things. He did this before he did Star Wars. This came out in 1973. Star Wars came out in 1977. The only other thing he did before this movie, I believe, was THX 1138, which was his student project. It's a movie. You should watch, you should probably watch it. I should probably watch it. It's the name of a stormtrooper in Star Wars. If you notice, he's the one that left his post when the people were sneaking off of the Millennium Falcon. THX 1138, where are you? I enter at your post, right? And then THX was also the name of his sound system. So, anyway, that's all I've got for movies and Blu-rays and DVDs and whatnot. So, I hope you all have a good night.